back into sorry, now we're out. Now we're out of executive session, back into regular with no binding action taken. So, okay, duly noted. Anything else for it? We do. There's something sitting in the back window. I don't know anything about it, but I assume you do.
No, I don't.
Okay, is there? I would, but I want to do this right. So, and actually you need to see you and me. Okay, so it's right behind you.
So they have this black made up for you. And I think he worked more than 11 years there, but 11 years this
Just
session.
a shade over, but not much.
All right. Anyway, thank you for the work. You have a good.
Now there's a photo opportunity. So you guys, if you would exchange that and let Chris get your picture. Get out of that.
Would any of you like to stand?
Yeah, watch out.
Want us in there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You take his
Matter
hand.
back to Chandler, you know, our, giving us, okay. Take one, actually, I'm gonna do two, 1, 2, 3. Three. Thank you very much.
Good job, man. Congratulations. What are you gonna do in your retirement?
Probably not more than I have to.
Not more than you have to. That's a good answer. It's a really good answer. Well, thanks for coming.
Nice to see you later.
Thanks for coming in today. Hey, and Doug, if you have some ideas for that permit that we didn't talk about, be sure you let us know, okay? Okay, right on.
Nice to meet you, Doug.
Thank you. Good job. All right. Well, that was nice. Who did the plaque? You got the Tammy? Tammy had that done? Okay, Nikki had that done. Very good job. That was very nice. So we wish Doug all the best in retirement, and that is a fun answer. What are you gonna do in your retirement? As little as possible. So, okay, moving on. We have, Austin, what's your timeline today? It's 9:06.
I'm gonna try to stick with you as long as I can.
Do we need to go? So we have our agenda here. Do you see it in front of you?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay, so we haven't really done anything, but we were discussing right away. Can we go to that while he's here? Does that bother anybody? Just to jump, I'm looking to the right and the left, I guess.
To the right, I mean, to the KDOT.
Or the Evergy right away dot.
Yeah.
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 Can we just go to that while you're here,
Yes, sir.
Austin, and talk about this Evergy right of way that we briefly touched on earlier?
Yeah, I'd love to do that. And so I've looked through that. I think that overall it's in really pretty good form. Okay. I don't see any reason that, like the most of it, with the exception of talking about where things are going to be located, more specifically, I think it's just fine. I mean, it's got the saving grace on this that I look at from, I'm sorry, I want to pull it right back out of here. I just cut it up a minute ago, actually. Excuse me. Nelson. Here we go. So the right of way settlement is fine. It's $500. It's really good to get $500. But down here, what they say, the saving grace that we have in it is the grantor may cultivate, use the right of way, subject to the safe exercise provided that it doesn't endanger the rights. No improvements shall be located. So that's one, that's not the saving grace. That's the thing that it says, hey, that once they have this right of way, we can't really interfere with what they're doing with it. So I don't want to say that you're in effect giving them the piece of ground for 500, but in effect, you're giving them all the functional use of the piece of the ground for $500. Now, that's probably good and necessary for what this is, and it's a small little area, so I'm not that worried about that. The saving grace language is in the event the grantee, which is them, causes damage to the real property from exercising the rights under this, grantee shall cause the physical damage to be repaired or pay you the reasonable cost of such work. The damages, if not agreed upon, shall be appraised and valued by 3 people. And the third, and each side selects one, and then the third person's selected by the other 2 appraisers. The determination of a majority of the appraisers is what goes with it. Now that's me breaking down the legalese to the non-legalese, and that is on the top of the last page, page 6 before signatures. That is your saving grace here. So if they do something that harms our ground, then they have to go on ahead and fix it. So I would say, even though it's a 6-page easement that could have been a 3, it's livable. All right, but what may not be livable is me putting in some language there, and I think a paragraph. If you could approve it today as is, or you could approve it subject to me adding a paragraph that says to the effect, the placement of all equipment shall be made in accordance with Brown County personnel, and approval and inspection of equipment being placed will be done in coordination with Brown County personnel. So you can bring it back next week with that addition based off the earlier conversation, or you can approve it as is. Or you can approve it with that addition today if you want to get it done right now. I'll just send an email to Evergy saying, this is the paragraph that we want added. Okay, it's been voted on to approve with this addition, so that keeps the project moving quickly, because I know this is Fairview and they're trying to do some utility work over on that side of the road as they get that road back in shape. So those would be my 3 option ways of doing it.
I don't believe it's in a rush. I don't see any work being done in Fairview. There are already pools in those locations. And-
Okay, then we're
And
good.
I don't see that they're working on it now. Should
Okay.
ask Doug, but I don't see that any other work done. It's not, so I don't think it's a rush thing. I think we got.
And I would just go back with an email to them saying, let's add that paragraph and see what they come back with. Evergy usually, then what happens is there's the Evergy vortex. It used to be better when there was people, they used to have 12 bench engineers in Wichita, Kansas, that looked over all the new developments that came through. Then it was down to 1 engineering tech. Now I think they've enclosed the entire Wichita office altogether. So they're slow. So I'll send this back over to Evergy, and then it may hit the Evergy vortex for a while. So it may come back to us in a week or 2 weeks or a month. I would suggest we'll see it before snow hits the ground, but I don't know how fast Evergy moves. Okay.
What do you think?
I'm good. Yep, that sounds.
Okay, sounds good. So you'll be in contact with Evergy. You'll work with county clerk too. She'll know what's going on, because, well, I mean,
Nikki, I'm gonna copy you on the email that goes to Evergy. The next, does that make sense?
I don't have an email, so you do that.
I'll try to find somebody. I've had a couple of, if you have a name of anybody that we're working with over there, it's great. If we don't, then I'll try to find somebody
I emailed you the name and phone number right now.
Oh, okay, good. So I'll give them a call. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that takes care of that one for today. The ham agreement.
Okay,
So. So I've read through this. I'm sorry, should I just go through and talk a little bit about where things are at?
so you're done with Evergy. We've got that all lined out. Now you want to move on to the ham agreement.
Yes, if
We'll
that's
get-
okay.
We'll get there. Yep.
Okay.
Is everybody there? Okay. Go ahead.
All right, yes, sir. So overall, this is it's long. Most of them are long. You'll hear a little bit of criticism out of me sometimes with, I am a lawyer, so I don't want to be too critical of lawyers, but if you give a lawyer a contract and they're hauling something, then don't they love to make it long? The What's interesting about it is this is supposed to go into effect January 1st, 26. So we've got a little bit of time here. I've looked at I'll talk through the legal provisions and then the practical provisions as well. Okay, so we can kind of go through the practical provisions. Everybody that does waste hauling has a fuel surcharge. Everybody. Okay. I've seen 3 or 4 different providers versions of this now, and ham is the game in town. You know, I mean, we're not going to go with ham, but I'm just giving you the sort of the background on how these things are structured. This is very similar to the other structure. All right, the fuel surcharge is very normal. The length, you've got a 3-year agreement. I've seen them go to 5 years with 3-year extensions. Okay, you've got a cost escalator that talks about the greater of a 3% cost increase annually, or 1% plus the actual CPI increase, which hovers somewhere around 2.25 to 2.75. The fuel surcharge on diesel at 350 is about right, but you're going to end up with some. I like that it's only 3 years because then we can look back and see what happens. We don't know what's going to happen at the end of by the end of the current administration with the way that oil pricing may change. So I don't think you want to be locked into that too much. What's interesting though is that you've got this. If you do shorthand math, I would take 40 times 3,900, which is your minimum tonnage. So that's $156,000. You have to spend with them a year, $156,000. That's your bare minimum. That's what you're going to have to spend because they have a minimum in there of 3,900 tons. And that's if you haul it. And if they haul it, they're up at around $45. So you take that same figure, 4,500 times 45 times 3,900. That's 175,500. So I would say that for them to haul versus you haul, okay, they've got a 22-ton minimum dump. Okay, these are just all practical things. I don't know exactly how our operation is set up. There is a fuel surcharge if they haul, but it's $110 every time they pick it up and move it. Okay, in terms of the dump difference in cost at 22. That's not bad to save wear and tear on your trucks, depending on how often you do it. If we have manpower shortage, but the fuel is roughly equivalent to what we're going to be, although we're a government, so we get a little bit better on that. But you're in hand grenade range on that. They do have a fuel surcharge, so those aren't issues that I see. Overall, I think the contract is really in good form. I do think that there's something in there because they probably don't do a lot with municipal. There's the Kansas cash basis law, and that says that if you have a contract over 1 year that obligates you to spend money, that can be a problem unless it's budgeted. So there's 2 ways that we get around that. The first way is, and it's not the way I would recommend doing it here. We say, look, we have a reserve fund for $300,000 or $400,000, and we're just going to earmark $400,000 as our Kansas cash basis compliance. I wouldn't do that. The other way that we do it, the way that most people do it, is they just put in a termination for convenience or lack of budgetary authorization. So that says that in any future budget year that we are not that where funding is not allocated toward this contract, the government has the right to go on ahead from a budgetary perspective and terminate. Every waste hauler provider in the state of Kansas that does a lot of municipal work, they've seen it. I'm sure Ham has probably seen one of these elsewhere, okay? But I would say they already have a provision in there that talks about compliance with all laws, rules, and regulations. I would go on ahead and put that provision in. The other liability that they have $1 million of liability that's in there, that's the basic that you want to have. I'm not, the Kansas Tort Claims Act, I'm giving you more information later on as we've looked at more stuff. I won't give you all the information that goes through, but I'm also kind of going through a little bit of how I look at a contract. Okay. Kansas Tort Claims Act says that on a municipal liability, our limit per occurrence is 500,000. If somebody has something that happens in state court, if we get to federal court, which is not that likely here, although there's some solid waste hauling, and what do we do if somebody puts toxic waste in there? You know, the 42 USC 1983 is a federal law that talks about liability. That's not capped at 500,000, but in reality, that's a remote risk. We have our own insurance policy. You can't insure against every single thing, but $1 million on this type of a contract is fine. Some people would want to see $2 and $5 million limits. I don't care about that. And I have some logic. First of all, oftentimes in a contract that will increase some of the price. Okay. I can go back and say, hey, do you have larger liability limits than $1 million? Ham has a larger than $1 million per occurrence. If they're running a solid waste operation and they don't have more than $1 million in liability coverage, they're wrong. And so I'm sure that they have 2 million and 5 million per occurrence. But the other thing that the Tort Claims Act, and this is always a question, if you have more insurance, it can increase your liability up to your insurance coverage limit. So having $1 million versus 2 million, all we're doing is just exposing us potentially to a larger claim under state law. And so I think $1 million's fine here, particularly if they have larger insurance. They're probably going to sue them and go after the deeper pockets there. They'll try to sue us a little bit too. Well, I have done quite a bit of insurance defense work in my life. And if something happens and they sue everyone and try to divvy out the pot as much as possible for claims. So that, in looking at it, it's a 17-page agreement. Those are the highlights. They have our saving provision in terms of budgetary authority is we need to go on ahead and put in Kansas Tort Claims Act compliance language. We have until January 1st to get this executed, so I'd recommend that we go back with an email that says, looks fine, went over it with the commission, but we need some Kansas Tort Claims Act, or no, not Kansas Cash Basis Law, sorry, language in there before we sign off on approval, and see what comes back. I would assume that by this time next week or within the next 2 weeks, it'll come back with an approval, that they'll add some of that language. I'll give them some suggested language, and we'll go from there. That would be how I would proceed.
Well, I know in the past, they've sent these to us and we have not went with a new agreement because we have an older contract that we keep renewing every year. I would suggest talk a little bit with Kevin about there's a reason why we would never do this, because we were losing. So I would ask about that old contract and why we didn't want to deviate from that, to make sure that there isn't something in there that protected us or special that would really cost us. I would just.
I'll do that.
So I would just ask that question, because this came up last year. We didn't do it last year. They wanted to do another, they tried to get a contract with us. So I would ask a little bit about that. I mean, just to see if there was something there that he could enlighten us.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that. Absolutely.
I can't remember why, but we amended the old one. We've stayed with it for, a lot of years.
So
So, yeah, that old one don't know how many years old.
Oh, I'm doing that, right now. I am,
I just thought better.
No, that's
see
great.
if
I
there's
think
something reasonable,
he's sending an email right now.
I'm sending the email right now to Kevin. I just
all
think
right.
that's a great idea.
There's always a reason why we didn't sign a brand new one.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
So I have quite a few questions about it.
Yeah, what's that?
So why do we have a fuel surcharge and not a fuel adjustment? If the price goes, diesel price goes below 350, why wouldn't we get a discount? And the way that formula was written, that should be average monthly price minus 350 or something to figure out your, I didn't think it was written very well.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And, I mean, if they're asking for fuel surcharge, I don't see why we couldn't ask for a fuel adjustment of price of diesel is not 350 now. I think it's lower than 350.
329.
Yeah. So if it's less than 350, I think we should be able to get a discount. And then on the trailer interchange agreement on section 8 and section C on insurance, they say we have to have our trash insured. User agrees to maintain for the duration of the agreement insurance to cover the cargo loss, coverage for cargo loss and loss or damage to lading contained in equipment while in the care. Oh, we just have trash in here. Why do we have to have insurance on the trash?
We're having trash mainly on, like, insurance relating to. We're hauling something, it's a good, again, this is what happens when you put a. I'm gonna be very critical sometimes of just tradition. I also am not, I'm not always only just a lawyer in my life. Okay, I kind of usually have a hybrid role and thing. This is what happens when you throw a lawyer on top of something that doesn't have practical. They think, oh, well, there's a good that's in the back of that truck, and that good needs insurance because it's being transported. And technically, trash waste is a good. Our insurance policies cover all this crap already. Like, and you're bringing up the right thing, Commissioner. Our insurance policies cover what happens if something falls out of the back end of a municipal trash truck. Like, or if we loaded something in there and it's being hauled there. I'm not trying to, like, I am being a little bit more and more critical of this, but like they have literally they're literally trying to transfer risk of loss over the trash that's being transferred until it is accepted after inspection at the transfer station. Like the level of contract work that they did to have a trash hauling agreement is ridiculous. Like they don't need 17 pages. Literally, they're hauling our trash. We have insurance over our operation. They have insurance over their operation. So it sounds like, oh, there's all this stuff in here. And there is, like, don't get me wrong, but our insurance covers if we have, and we can ask that coverage question, but literally we're putting stuff in the back of a dumpster. We're handing it over to somebody. They're hauling it for us. And then they take possession of it after they inspect it. Our insurance products cover this stuff. But they want to over define what they're doing because they over lawyered the document. That's all I can say.
Our thing is in the past, we've had a couple trailer fires because people hide lithium batteries in their trash. And we've had lawsuits against them, and once it's in the trailer, is it theirs or is it ours? And when we've had to pay out some trailer cost, and that's some of the things that's probably in the old contract that. So, yeah.
So
we've had some history here with some issues a couple times.
So I didn't have any conflict much with the equipment part, but yeah, if you say the trash could fall out or something and that would be liable, I could understand that maybe, but $1 million or
So,
$100,000, I guess.
so in Austin, to add to this, we hire or we contract with a third party. Actually hauls most of the trash out of there. Hams sends us trucks when they're available. Most of the trash that goes out of the transfer station is hauled by the GL Time LLC, which is a local trucking company.
Yeah.
Okay, just to make you aware,
We're still using hand.
we're still using Ham's trailers, but it's not a county tractor, it's a contractor. It's.
Yeah, that makes sense. And this is good context. So I just emailed Kevin to find out what our old agreement was. And this is typical of how the waste haulers, like they started off with a 6 or 7 page agreement in Sedgwick County with all the municipalities. It got up to a 14 page agreement. They murder this thing to death in some way. So if we can use the old agreement, when I emailed Kevin, I said, hey, how do we renew this thing? And what are the better terms? And so I'll find out from him between now and next meeting. And if we could renew an existing contract, even without having read it, I would almost recommend anything that we can do under an old contract. They will have tried to figure out how to make it better for them in this form. So it'd be better to just continue to renew.
Would it be wise to have him include Don on this stuff? Does Don have any input?
I think Don sent this to us, I mean, because they keep sending it to Don and then he sent it up to us. And this happened last year too.
Don Pounds is our solid waste manager out there, and he's on some of the email threads here, just so you're aware.
So I'm gonna forward it to Dawn, the email that I just sent to Kevin.
Yeah, it's so tricky.
We are weaving a web here.
I know.
So what's Dawn's, Nikki, do you remember Dawn's email address?
There should be an email for
It should,
There we
it was
go.
on the bottom of this one.
the bill.
There we go.
You already see.
I'm working down here.
Yeah, emergency.
Yeah, it's on the very last page or. on the last.
Oh, here we go. Got it. Just forwarding it to him. And I'm gonna ask him to give me a call so we can discuss this further. Okay, well, that is. All right, I have sent that, I forwarded that to Don and I asked him to reach out to me so we can chat about it this week, find out a little bit more. So I think, and I also saw in the email chain that it's been sent over to our insurer, which is good. Okay, and coming back, that's always good to have K-Camp look at things. That's a good thing that came back. They came back with some limited suggestions on section 2 and 6, which I thought was fine. Again, those are things that we can add in if we actually did this. But again, they said up to the actual value of the trailer. The real thing I care about is insurance likes to have. If your insurance carrier like K-Camp, when they come back and they say, hey, well, they're not recommending additional coverage limitations, that's the winner. Okay. When the insurance comes back and says, we're not asking for additional coverage, you're in good shape there. We had a situation elsewhere that didn't come back like that. Somebody wanted to use the municipal lake for paddle boarding and to instruct paddle boarding yoga, which sounded like a lot of accidents waiting to happen. And so the insurance company came back and said, hey, you need a lot more liability insurance coverage here for this. But that didn't happen here. So when K-Camps looked at it, that's a good thing. So I've got that. Are there other things that we should go through? Not gonna. Chairman, it's your
On this document, or do you mean other business?
other business.
Okay, I just came up with one. when we do our accounts payable at the end of the month, we all sign and there's a spot for the county counselor. How do we make that adjustment? It still says Mr. Hill's name.
So I will just cross out his name and then add my name and I'll sign it. I can sign it next Monday. I plan on being most of the time at and I could sign it maybe even remotely. If you scan it after you guys sign it for records, if Nikki, if you can scan it, I will sign it and cross out his name and put my name on it and then scan it back. And under the laws of the state of Kansas, the electronic signature, even if things are signed in counterparts, that's just as good as if it was signed and I was sitting in the room. So I can send that.
That's great. Okay. That's wonderful. Do you guys have anything for him?
Yeah.
Yes.
On that 270th Street thing, they sent a bill for that.
Mhm.
And I might have messed up on that deal, the part where they were supposed to seal over it. But they have a $5,000 retention or something. Is that sufficient to go ahead and pay that except for that $5,000?
So how much was that? How much was the bill again? I need to look back at that.
What they held back was $5,000 basically.
Okay, I think that I would keep the retention, keep the 5,000 because they're going to, the Steelers not going to cost more than $5,000 for what they're going to do there. I don't think.
That's what I thought, that should cover that if it was.
I don't, did they give you a time estimate on when the sealer was, going to be done?
No, I kind of messed up and didn't get back with them on Monday like I was supposed to, I guess. I thought,
It's not a mess up. Look, they're the ones that want to get paid. Okay, that's what's great about it.
so on Sunday, it hadn't been done yet on Sunday, so I don't know. I haven't talked to them.
So here's what I would do. I would approve that accounts payable pending completion of the sealer. So then you've got a check that is ready to be handed to them and they can get it anytime that they get your sealer done. Okay? That will get them out there. People, usually if you make your accounts payable pending them correcting a portion of the work, I think we're all right.
Okay.
That's what I would do is I would say, look, we've approved this payment pending completion of the sealing work. Okay, that way they know they just have to come out, seal it, and they get the payment. Okay, that's what I would do is make that accounts payable pending the seal
So
completion.
Austin, I'm looking at this and it's page 46 in our document. This is the contractor's application for payment. And so we would approve that on the condition. Tell me again how to say that. And we could just go through that.
Yeah, what I would say is I've got page 46 up. Okay, say we would approve payment. Okay, subject to completion of sealing work, of requested sealing correction work. Approved payment subject to completion of requested sealing work. And in the chat, everyone.
Did I sign this last week? Yeah.
I just put it in the chat. Approved payment subject to completion of requested sealing correction work.
So we had seen this before, but didn't we sign
Well,
for the KDOT reimbursement?
we paid for the first part, the 692,655. We paid that the previous part. We paid this part.
Yeah.
This is the second half of it. This is the second part, Billy.
Okay,
Rest
okay,
of
so
it.
this is new then. All right, okay.
That's the way I remember.
And I don't have anything, any paper copy of this to sign, do I? She's coming in.
So you got that written down, what you,
Approved payments.
I just sent it actually in the chat, so you could read it from there, and Nikki's also got it.
Okay, so the chat function, I don't see it.
So it says, I'm gonna share my,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna share my screen now. Copy,
Okay.
actually, I'm gonna send an email to you and Nikki right now.
So, Austin, the Zoom, we're a little rusty on it, so I appreciate you working with us. Some of this stuff, of course, on our laptops or our iPads here, we're just seeing you on the big screen.
Oh, it's not a problem. I just sent an email to you and Nikki with the language in it. And, the other thing that we're doing good with Zoom. This is great. There were a couple of other things that I think we were gonna chat about, or that I could share with you if you guys don't have other items, but I don't want to just co-opt the portion of the meeting. But before I left, there were two things I was gonna chat with you about. So the first one is, we had a weird request that came in, and I've worked with this with Nikki on this a bit, about burial on private property with like a headstone and a letter to the government, what that takes, that we're gonna allow someone to be buried on the private property, but then we're gonna work with them. I'm not exactly sure what letter they need. Okay, the VA is kind of wonky about this stuff. So I think the easiest thing to do, I can draft almost any type of letter that would say, hey, we're gonna allow this to happen. It doesn't really matter, it's private property. But the VA probably needs to ask us, or whatever, like they usually have somebody that's filling out the paperwork for benefits. They can email us directly, say, hey, what do you need? And then I'll fill it out immediately. Okay, because this is all just kind of like true to form, whatever they need. The other thing that came up was meeting times. And I talked a little bit about this with Nikki and with Chairman. I have some flexibility that I could be, if we could, I have the Nemaha County meeting at 9 a.m. On Mondays. Okay, but in the afternoons, I'm already in the area. Okay, at least half of the Mondays a month, and then the other half, I could still Zoom if I'm Zooming there. But right now, it's not always going to be like this, but almost every Monday I'm in the county. So if we were to have a meeting, if the meeting time was to be in the afternoon on Mondays, I could be in person. It would greatly help travel, and it would also greatly help timing, if that were to work. So I like being with you guys when I can in person. Because I think we get a lot of stuff accomplished there. And then there's also even some opportunity if we need some meetings afterwards. So I think it stretches a little bit of the engagement even farther than we would otherwise be able to if we were able to schedule the meeting on a Monday afternoon instead of in the Monday mornings. That would take care of a lot of timing issues if that worked.
What do you think? Oh, yeah. It would, I don't have a problem with it. Are you thinking Monday, 1 o'clock? Is that what you think?
Yeah, that'd be great. Monday, 1 o'clock would be great.
So the concern is the eternal meeting, and we would need a hard stop time of 4 o'clock. Would that? Yeah, right. We don't want you to be here, and I mean, I don't. Does
I think-
that workable?
Oh, yes. And I don't see a reason why, like what you can do if there's still action items like in the workshop that's going after. Say, look, we're going to have this meeting from 1 to 4 o'clock. If there's other items that are coming up, we meet every week. And so those items, if there's discussion, unless, you can take whatever action items you need to take that week. But particularly in a workshop, if the discussion's continuing, we're shutting down with a hard stop pretty much noon at the other place, okay, down the road in Nemaha. So I would suggest that you want to have that hard stop after about 3 hours, because if it keeps going, it gets really hard to even maintain focus after 3 hours on the topic at hand. So I think that's a good idea to have a hard stop.
A time or two, and it gets to be a long day. So,
Yes.
okay, I mean, I'm fine with it.
or if there was something we need to discuss longer, we could put it off till next week and meet earlier in the morning, not week. If that's just something that we need.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Work session,
Absolutely.
I was needed.
Sure.
Hopefully it would need to.
Sure.
Does that need to be a motion? Give a regular meeting like a date then?
Yeah, I would make a motion to change the regular meeting time to Mondays at 1 o'clock.
Is that everyone?
Yeah, every Monday, every regular meeting Monday, move it from 8:10 to 1 o'clock.
What about our end of the month meetings too? Do we address that now?
Yeah, I think you don't have to. I mean, the end of the month, you want to have that to approve payroll. I would, you're usually doing it on the last day, right? Whatever the last day is so that we can approve things. I don't necessarily, yeah,
Still do it in the afternoon?
Yeah. we can approve it.
Okay.
that'd be great for me, actually, whatever, and the end of the meeting month in the afternoon.
So there's already.
Uh,
Change the time for the meeting from 8:10 to
1 o'clock. But our same format. Okay, well, I'd make a motion then that we change all regular meetings to begin at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Do I need to say anything about the schedule from 1 to 4?
yeah, from 1 to 4 o'clock. And that the normal, I would just say 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then it'll be fine because you'll just wrap up at 4 o'clock and adjourn the meeting when you're done. So you don't need to say 1 to 4.
Okay,
Just say-
I'll make a motion that all regular meetings of the commission begin at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries, and that's effective
The next meeting.
next meeting if it allows it, yeah. All right, now, we'll need I'm gonna write that in capital letters. Cause I'll be here at 8 o'clock. Monday at 1. Okay,
Thank
so
you all.
you'll be very patient with us, cause that'll be quite an adjustment. And we'll work through it, but that should allow you to be in person. Now, is that twice a month or is that,
At least twice a month.
okay,
Okay, right now, if I am, what I'm trying to do is with this, I am almost every week at the moment in Nemaha County.
okay,
So eventually that's gonna go down to twice a month, okay? But what that will do is that accommodates me, and we needed to make a switch to some other time anyway. Okay, because I have that meeting at 9 o'clock, and I've talked about how do we structure it, but I don't want for there not to be some flexibility in what we're doing versus that there. So what that's gonna do is, if I'm already in Nemaha County, I'm gonna try to stay as long as I can in person. So I can't promise forever. But if I'm in Nemaha, I'm gonna try to drive over to Brown. So for a while, I may be there every week.
okay.
Won't be like that forever, but this should allow for at least every other week. I'm in person, and the rest of the time I'm zooming if I'm zooming there.
So I guess, and I need to back up, we already did this, but Dallas, I didn't ask you for your opinion. It's kind of already in motion, but it works. I'm sorry. I didn't even see you behind. Okay, and then that affects our newspaper man too, who comes to our meetings pretty faithfully. I guess the schedule's gonna change, so they'll start Monday at 1 o'clock. So, anyway, there you go. I forget how many people this actually affects, so I just wanted to address that in some way. So, is there anything else while he's online that we want to talk about? Essentially, we've kicked a lot of cans into next week. We're gonna have some papers in front of us, some documents that we may sign or we may hear back from the other parties. But Bill's got.
Yes.
So you read the speed limit resolution. Do you have any?
It looks great.
So. Where that is.
That is the 270.
Yeah, this were 270. I would move that we would pass resolution number 2025-18. And a resolution to post speed limit signs of 45 miles per hour on 270th Street between Coyote Road and Sylvester city limits. Do I need to read the rest of it or? got enough?
When you'll plan on doing the rest of the county due time, I mean.
I think it's, we were gonna have public comment. Yeah.
So, but I think this needs to be done.
So that's in the form of a motion to accept resolution 2025-18. All right, is there a second?
I'll say.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye,
Okay, motion carried.
so, thank you.
Good for you. All right.
I had some comments about that, it was a pretty speedy road, that other people said, not necessarily, but I think it's, there's lots of hills and stuff there. I think it's good.
Okay. Did Tammy still on, is she in the schedule? Will she need the attorney at all? Do we? I think so. Okay. We're gonna take a 3-minute recess here.
Before we go, can I identify real quick, some, my to-do items? Okay, so I make sure that I'm not, missing something, if that's okay, real quick.
Okay,
So I'm gonna report what I hear back from Kevin on the HAM agreement. I'm gonna try to locate an email address for Evergy and send an email requesting update for placement and correction of easement items.
okay,
Okay, and then I'm gonna adjust the right-of-way process to address placement of items.
okay,
Okay, and easement, and then I'm going to try to look in, this is a longer lead time item. Okay, address. Identify interlocal agreement status.
Okay.
With right-of-way maintenance. With the tribe.
okay.
Other than that, I'm going to wait to hear back. From the VA regarding letter. Okay, for burial marker placement.
Did you address the landfill, the Kansas cash basis?
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do first is find out from Kevin what's going on there.
Okay.
So
Okay,
next week I'll come back and find out what that agreement placement is. And then if it turns out to be something that we need to do, then we'll go back to them and say, here's our changes, but I have a feeling that we'll want to extend the existing resolution agreement. So
yeah. Okay,
is that other things that I need to do?
So I didn't quite understand what the deal was with the VA, didn't quite hear all that. Or
It's basically somebody wants to have the 30-second version is somebody wants a burial plot marker. And the VA will give it for free if they get a letter from us, but we don't know what letter they need right now. So we're waiting for them to tell us back what they need. And Nikki, if that individual, if I need to talk to that individual and they need to, I'll even talk to the VA for that individual and say, look, you just need to tell me what it is that they need. If they want to call me with it, I'll call the VA and because it's a mess. I want to help that person. I mean, I want to help everybody, but the VA is a mess. I've dealt with that. So, okay.
This is very specific on knowing where the marker goes, because it's gonna be given to the family and where the markers are. Our property.
Oh. Well, so that's the issue with some.
Yep.
Cause do we furnish those markers otherwise or not?
I think it's still, we have.
This is the bronze one that they ordered,
All right,
you know.
and this is one last thing, Austin, just for housekeeping, and since we're on Zoom, can you hear when Nikki speaks? Can you hear her? And the last time, you just.
No, that's the one person I can't hear right now is Nikki. Everybody else I hear great, so maybe we want to work on that. And I'm sure I'd be in a similar situation where I sit and talk. So maybe there's a couple of mics there. Nikki, I'm sorry, I'm throwing a mic your way. But we may
He
need a
doesn't
mic.
want the microphone, but maybe we could, if I bend this one over closer, maybe you'll pick up something. I'll
Yeah,
just
I
have-
think that'd be good. And maybe like I've had mics in the past where if I have a mic, I just leave it off unless I'm talking and then turn it on if I have to make comment. So if we need to do that, if we're still not picking it up, if we had a mic that Nikki and I shared, I would leave it off most of the time and then turn it on if we have to talk.
But just so in the future when we Zoom, if you can't, I mean, I guess you'll have to let us know, I guess how
Sure.
you're supposed to do that. If you can't hear her speak, you don't know when she's speaking. So we'll just do a better job of making sure that you know she's got something to say.
Okay. Well, this is good. Nikki, is sort of before I leave, is there anything that I can do to help anything on your end this week coming up? Other than, these items or,
No, I don't have anything new.
great. And I heard that well, so we're good.
All right, then. Well, the microphone's pointed her direction. So on this, approve the payment to the contractor. Are we gonna improve the payment in total, or do we still leave the retainage out of it?
I would leave the retainage out of it. Okay, until, leave the retainage out and approve the payment subject to the ceiling work.
Okay,
Okay? That's what I would do.
okay, wonderful. We
All
good?
right.
Think so. You good? Okay, well, now we're gonna take a short little recess. You're done. You've done very well on Zoom. Thanks for coming in. You've helped us a lot. So, and she'll send you, when we go through our accounts payable, she will scan you that document so you can put your signature on it. So that's
That
coming.
sounds great. And Nikki, if you want, by the way, since I am technically an accounts payable, I think if you want to hold mine until next week, that's great. If you want to mail it, it's great. I don't care, but if you want to hold mine till I show up, that's fine. Save a stamp one way or the other. I don't care.
Right on, right on. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
I would make a motion that we take a 3-minute recess.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. 3 minutes. Okay,
That is true.
yeah. Growing pains here. Okay, we're back in regular session. We're out of recess, back in regular session. Okay. We've gone a lot of different directions. Let's circle back to item number 1 on our agenda, and that's the minutes from the 22nd of September's meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? And if not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. Minutes are approved. Number 2 on the agenda is the accounts payable for the end of the month here. Are there any questions? Mine are sideways in my iPad. That's all right. That's all right. That's.
It made it challenge.
Yes.
That's why I came in and laughed. Yeah, this morning in the papers.
Go ahead, Bill. You have a question? What's that?
Love time.
Yeah, it's coming.
Um. The tank testing, what was that about? That was on page 2, Midwest Training and Consultant Services, tank testing.
We have to have our tanks tested that hold our fuel for over so many gallons.
Fuel.
And ours had to.
Fuel tanks are, and
I
that,
think
that's it.
I think
That
they're
was
good
all
for
it
either
had?
5 or 10 years that they're good for.
Okay.
But they have
Easy.
a recommendation of things that we could do to them, but and pass, so that was the main thing.
Okay, so that covered all the tanks or just?
I know it covered ours because of the volume we have. We have higher volume than the rest.
Anyway.
Anything over, I forget how many gallons. Yeah.
I would like to start having the janitor come in every so often, tell us what his plans are, because I don't quite understand what the
bagger.
bagger or whatever that was for.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
I said like $2,000, but
I gather that was an attachment for the lawnmower. Yeah.
Unless one of them broke down or quit.
Okay.
Maybe they didn't have one.
Yeah.
anyway. And then, someone like renting a dump trailer, every so often, I'm not sure. If you saw this haul limbs, I think, yeah, I'd be putting that in the pickup and so on, that right.
You trimmed a bunch of stuff out front. I didn't see that. I didn't use killers.
Oh, trim the bushes.
Took all the big bushes down.
Maybe it's important, but it seemed like that.
Yeah, maybe you can get a county truck I think, too, from District 1. I don't know. But that's fine.
And antifreeze, $71 for the antifreeze.
I don't know.
Not for air conditioning. Air conditioning. The air conditioning is not open. A couple weeks ago, they want in here and know what we should. Like, I
I don't know, but I just think it'd be good for them to come and talk to us. That's what I'm thinking.
Just give a every other month update, something like that. Is that what you think?
Every other week, of things he's planning, if he has anything,
Oh,
like what he's painting and what the rug he put before, he worked on the 3rd floor. Yeah, anything he's doing, I mean.
But you don't require that at Road and Bridge Department in one of these, kind of month.
Pardon?
But you want to do it?
I think
Maybe once a month, you know, I don't know.
a little update wouldn't hurt. I think that's coming for Road and Bridge. I mean, I think this 2-week thing is coming when we do this restructure.
Okay,
But do you wanna maybe work on the Road and Bridge side? You can use that as kind of a template for what you want out of him.
could be. I just don't like to be blindsided with a $2,000 bill,
That's expensive. No, I agree. I agree with you.
paint brushes out, because they're not the paint brushes, or they'll.
I don't know. I don't know. There's,
I don't know, just think we need more communication with him.
you have any other questions on there?
Um,
More communications with the Jan. I think that's fine with the custodian.
on the final payment. That was for the landfill backhoe.
for solid waste. There's a $19,000. Yep.
Tobacco, that's what I thought. It's pretty much it.
I had one on Civic Plus. Dallas, I'll just look your direction. Yeah, we're still active with Civic Plus.
So we use Civic Plus for both our website and the streaming. We
Okay.
got it streaming. We just had it for our website.
Okay, so that's what that was, that 4,000 some dollar.
Right.
Okay, good. All right, anything else?
But he asked that for the meeting, so.
You already asked him? Oh, okay.
Where the meeting starts.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I didn't know. So
That's
that
fine.
proves we're doing Coleman right, my man.
Right.
I had no idea.
We're in agreement on that.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right,
I think that's pretty much it.
Move the approval account payable for 9/30/2025.
it's been moved. Is there a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion carried. That's done, and we'll work out the signature page here. Get that going. All right. Feel it. Let's pile of checks. Now, we've already discussed the Evergy right of way. We'll go to this. The KDOT reimbursement. Request. Which is. This paper here? Okay. Okay, so this is where I would make the motion. Based on our county's counselor's recommendation. I'm gonna go to that email. I would make a motion, we approve this payment. Subject to the completion of requested sealing work. Sealing correction.
Second that.
Any discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
okay, motion carried. So
Now the next question is, where does the money come from?
You're probably gonna pull that out of your,
Well, I don't have enough money in my capital outlay. Because the state hasn't reversed it since, what I know. I mean, we already paid that. $600,000, almost $700,000 last. And we don't have, that only left us with about 400,000 in my capital outlay.
Okay.
So there's about $270,000 that we have to take out of someplace else.
when do we get our reimbursement?
I thought maybe we're supposed to get a reimbursement on some of that bridge on 220th, but don't know that we're not even got that either.
Well, that would be just straight 90/10. I don't know if the reimbursement on,
Well, on that, some of the engineering costs.
yeah.
think that'd be good. I just. She said something about 2 weeks or a month.
And we just did that 2 weeks ago, so
What's your, where your balance is, not just your,
yeah, there is some in the balance.
that's on your district, but the. Funds, look up the money back in.
Let's put that back in. Maybe Tammy got an updated in my.
We can just do it out of capital improvement, but we can technically. Road bridge, I don't know if I get there. In the area of roads. Yeah.
One option, because District 1 had like 300,000, I think, and District 2 had different. So,
I don't have that piece of paper with me. I don't have it.
so,
Tammy made one effectively in the August.
so I think there's might be almost enough left in our budget, in District 3 budget. But I forgot to bring the report from last week.
188,000.
So there's enough money in capital improvement.
Yeah, three combined.
Between the three combined, so in the past, it's always been district by district, but in the spirit of moving forward, going to going, how would we do that?
It's how a spreadsheet, but it's still.
It's still on one fund. Well, I would just,
And then, but then I think another option is, I think there should be enough in. Left in my budget for this year. Cover that 200 and some thousand.
were you able to contact her? Okay. She gotta walk across the hall now.
So anyway, we cover. What do you want to do with that?
Yeah, whatever, if all coming from the same pot here, so. We'll let Tammy make her way over. She'll talk to us about it.
Oh, no, other paper, if this for the. no, no,
This on the extension?
They on that. Maybe not the question.
Okay,
Right.
okay, so and on this document, which we just made a motion and approved, I'm gonna sign here. The contingency is based on the completion. That'll be, okay. Morning.
Hi,
We are working on this. We approved the payment on the condition that the ceiling work is done.
okay,
So there you go. And I guess keep the retainage out too, is what the attorney said. Am I saying that correctly? There's a. So. At the bottom there.
right. Yeah, that says it including retainage, so,
So the motion I made was, and we approved, was to approve payment subject to completion of the requested ceiling correction work. And then,
they're supposed to be doing that tomorrow.
okay, there you go. Then they can get it done and get their money.
Yeah.
So we were,
So I'll just hang on to this.
Yeah.
Until we make sure that's done.
yep, and I'll sign it. Bill was asking about where the money comes from to do this, which led into some discussion. Take it away.
We took it out of capital improvement.
Well, we've already taken. The $692,000 out of capital improvement last time. And has the state reimbursed that?
Well, not yet, but it's all
Well, so what I'm saying is, there's not enough left in District 3's capital improvement to cover this either. So
to cover what?
this
The
is
second payment.
second payment.
The $5,000?
No, the 6,883,000 that. is not due now.
We paid. Are we looking at it wrong? Now do this application.
Oh, the 683. Yeah, I was looking at this one. My bad. I was thinking,
$75,000 difference.
I guess you're kind of a high roller, aren't you?
sorry, my bad.
Okay, okay. So,
Hey, I can admit when I'm wrong,
no, it's
and I
fine. I
was
just,
wrong.
we look at this like it's a lot of money. You're like, well,
Sure.
it's whatever, so.
That's because I was looking
I
at
know, that's the joke, that's the
$5,000.
joke, that's the joke.
Not
So,
the 683.
so Nikki says we have 800 and some thousand in capital.
Do you have your,
I know I looked at, I forgot to put it back in and bring it down. Sorry.
that's all right.
Do you have an updated one for, this month? Not yet.
No,
She's still working, got some more pretty thing.
So did they give a timeline on the reimbursement? Fees right now?
no, they said weeks,
Yeah,
Okay, so
2 to 3 weeks.
yeah.
And we just did
Right,
this.
2 weeks ago we did it.
I had the check written 9/17, so then I sent this in. as soon as I had the check, because
Something like two weeks.
so yeah, tomorrow will be 2 weeks.
So money should be coming to cover.
Sure,
But where's it coming out of now? We pay.
If we paid it now, it could come out of capital improvement of the combined districts, right? And that's-
Right.
It's all the same pot anyway. I assume that's. let's make that
technically,
way.
yes, because I'm the only one that separates
That's
it.
right. So you're the-
That's fine with me. I'm sure we.
Is that fine with
Okay.
you? Okay, that's how we'll do it.
Okay, capital improvement.
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
It's only $5,000.
I know, it's all right. Well, I tell you what, it's a lot of figure, but it is a lot of money. I mean, maybe not to
What you
you.
be aware of?
I
The
did,
three didn't have that much.
I did completely look at that wrong.
Okay. Well,
'Cause
you got a lot-
I was surprised it was only $5,000.
You have a lot of new things on your plate, so you're
Mhm.
doing fine.
You're not lying.
You're doing fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you got everything you need from us while you're here? Is anything else we need to know? Okay,
Yeah, they're finishing, they're doing that last seal tomorrow.
Okay.
And then I think Brady is gonna check it again. maybe?
I haven't talked to Brady. Brady's not talked to me. Nobody's talked to me. I haven't talked
he's
to
in the dark. We did have, with the county counselor there, we did talk about making some changes to the right of, like utility easements in our right of way. Trying to fix that, so we don't have any
Okay.
problems. So that's in the work. If you can think
Okay.
of any suggestions that need to be on that or any things we need to address. let it
Yeah,
know.
on the permit process.
yeah.
I think it needs to be more detailed,
Uh-huh.
really, about where they can and can't put things.
Yeah. Yeah, any of your ideas, do you have his email? Or,
Austin's?
Yeah.
No. She'll get it.
okay, well. I was going to do that because we always look to her to do all this work. I was gonna save her a step, but if she wants to do it, she can. That's fine. And, yeah, if you got any suggestions, let him know, because you're in the thick of it.
I was thinking of it. Very good. Right.
We want to
Yeah.
change that, change the title? Sure, okay, yeah, whatever you think.
Yeah. I think I have it.
And do we have any agreement, an interlocal agreement, he called it with the tribes, as far as road use, road maintenance, things like that? He'll be asking for that,
Don't,
or about that, I think it is, if we have.
I could do it. Yeah, the only interlocal agreement I know I have is about 340, I believe,
Okay.
with Nebraska.
Okay. And then we signed that resolution for the speed limit on a new road there on two
Did
seventy.
you?
So you need to order some signs, but they decided they didn't have any signs over there. They told me they did, but last time I talked to them, they couldn't find them. They need all these state signs,
Okay,
black and white ones.
just 45.
Yeah, and then
Check with all the districts first, people will order. If we get somebody.
Some of them have some rattling somewhere.
yeah, so then, and then on that intersection sign, I think. My opinion is I have a 30 underneath it.
Oh, 30.
Yeah, so it's an intersection and then some intersections have a speed. I guess it's suggested speed underneath it,
Oh,
a yellow sign. I suggest 30 on that one. So it's like. You get 100 yards away from the intersection, you can't see it.
yeah, it's kind of a blind intersection. It's kind of a blind intersection.
Sure.
Over Sharpville.
So when it comes to signs like that and placement, and I think we sort of talked about this, is there any rules or regulations, where they need that? Does the state get involved in things like this? Or can we put a sign up?
Usually when you start putting signs or adding signs, that sometimes with traffic study. That I don't know. We did, when I wanted to put one out here on 230th.
That was on their.
It's because that's their right.
But also I had to do it down the other corner, on to change from a Y to a T, where the road splits on Nighthawk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't let us just make change there either, and that's all. Yeah, we could ask, yeah, but just.
And I wonder too, on that speed limit, is there, for law enforcement to actually make that enforceable, does it need to? Do we need to have a certain amount of signage so the public is aware? And we actually ought to talk to the sheriff too and let him know what we did, so. Okay, so he knows what to do.
Public enough. Get out there.
Okay,
where road can change.
What if the road usage says the sign will notify them? But, yeah. I don't hold a public announcement, but,
Yeah.
um,
They told us speed limit signs anyway.
right, so,
the armadillo tells all of them.
It does.
so as soon as the signs are up, the public should be aware if we put one
Right.
at every intersection.
Yeah. Well, okay, all right.
And I'll be sending the reports for Prairie Road. Was it that?
Your prayer?
People don't drive as fast on it as I thought.
Is their teeth?
They can. That's right, as soon as they can.
That
You are good on speed bumps.
Yeah,
is
no,
true.
it's a rough road. It's a rough road. Okay. And we know it and it's on the agenda to correct that, or at least get the process started. On a road like that, how did you get started with 270? I mean, I assume something about that road met all the boxes to go through with state funding with the grant. So I wonder if Prairie would meet the same.
Well, we decided that road, we just put in the most money in it. It was putting so much hot pads in, it was better to attack, that was one of the worst ones to
Okay.
attack, and it was.
So you reached out to the state, then you initiated that.
We knew they had the cost share program, that's what we applied,
Okay.
You know, think Betis or something gave us some estimates, it's not,
yeah. So that's how we decided, because it was putting thousands of dollars of hot patch on that, and that's what started the process.
So then, Nikki, would you put that on the table, like discussion items, so we don't forget that, like Prairie Road, we ought to look into that. As
I
far-
did all the core sampling on Prairie
Right.
Road, so we know that the base is good, but it's just a matter of now, okay, how do we overlay it, correct it, to smooth it out? So,
That's part of
like
it.
today, our guys are out hot patching because we've got warm weather again, so we're out with more roads.
Good, good.
So, get some more rough spots.
Well, that's part of that long-term vision we need to have, because is that 8 miles?
When I talked to Brady about applying for cost share, he said we need to start with a letter from landowner requesting
Okay.
maintenance on the road. I've already started that process.
Okay.
We're supposed to be getting the letters.
Okay.
Somebody's supposed to draft a letter about the condition of the road, people who live on the road. They're supposed to be getting it signed.
Okay, so let's come. Cool.
So I started with some of them, yeah.
Well, it'll take a couple of years. It looks like based on the 270th, the dates, that all started back in 23, 22. When you started the 270th project or the application, I think the dates on there, in 23. Some of the initial.
It's been a long time, yeah, it'll take some couple of years sometimes.
So we started in 26 with the legwork, maybe by 29.
Take a couple of years to do that.
Yeah, so that gives us a chance to account for it too in our budget. Okay, right on. Getting back to the agenda, we had the speed limit we did and the ham agreement we've got in process. Is there any other business to come before the commission here while we're still in regular session?
Mm.
5 minute. Okay, so we requested a 5 minute executive session for non-elected personnel, pay and performance with the 3 commissioners in the county. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. 5 minutes. We'll come back around 10:29.
I'll be here with it from this point on, so I'm gonna let that be in your guys'. Right. Figure that one.
Okay, are we back on?
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're out of executive session, back into regular session with no binding action taken. I have a few things on the sheet here, and it's basically involves some of the department restructuring and some of the raises given to make them effective. First, we have two here for the, you want to do them separately or do them the same time? Separate? Okay, so we'll start with the IT department, and that's what we talked about last, I think that was the last meeting to take his pay from 56,120 to 59,240, effective the 22nd of September. That's what the document says. Is that correct? 29? Can I change it here? Just scratch it out and change it? Oh, no, excuse me. I read the wrong date. It's at the bottom. You signed this on the 22nd and it's effective the 29th. You're right. I looked at the wrong way. So I would make the motion that we approve this. Is there a second? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. All right. Okay, so that's approved. Do I need to sign this somewhere?
Okay.
Okay. It's done. The second is for the county clerk and election officer, that salary and wage structure adjustment for 2026. That changes the pay scale and changes the county. So it's gonna be a good way of reading this that makes sense. County clerk to 59,240, election officer variable and 2,500 per election. And then it lists by position, the hourly wages. Okay. Well, this is part of the restructuring in the county. To I guess to a pay raises that accommodate less staff present. So I would make a motion to approve this effective the 29th, the same as we did the IT. Is there a second?
I'm gonna abstain, because I thought we covered this with the budget when she was gonna pay out of the election part, so I'm gonna stay informed with this guy. This is for you guys forward, moving on this one.
Okay, so the default, if this doesn't take effect, if this change doesn't take effect, then the pay changes the first of the year. So to this, the first of the year. So I guess I have a motion on the table to approve this. Is there a second? You're gonna abstain, so I'm gonna look to you. Huh? You're not gonna second it? Okay, so it dies for lack of a second. And I guess that'll take place the first of the year. That is taken care of there too. On the, I guess the last thing I have here is the county extension budget, the certificate of filing. This is something we approved. And I guess we just have to sign it. Is that all this is, or just need a motion?
Yeah.
Okay, so this takes the numbers that we approved in their budget, puts it on paper, and they submit it to the state. So it has a, I guess I can sign representing the Board of County Commissioners, so I'll just sign it and date it and roll on. Okay, is there any other business that needs to come before the commissioners before we?
What do you- Not one.
I mean,
Yeah.
be more specific, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's the, ask me in a way I understand. If we created a brand new, do you have something in mind, or is this just like a generic?
I knew she was coming. It's not a new position.
Oops.
The chaplain position is still there.
Budget for it. Which, you know, might not, you send it. Signatures of our-
I'm going there for a while until I figure a few things out, so. But You keep my health insurance for just a little bit longer.
The honest answer is I don't know. I don't know her question. So you're gonna be the what?
I'm going back to what I was doing before I went to commission.
Or what is that?
I was a chaplain in the sheriff's department and a road deputy for, I'm gonna go there for a while to see, to keep my insurance for a little bit longer and make some changes, but yeah.
Okay.
Better part-time or full-time?
It's part-time.
Well, it would have to be full-time to keep benefits.
Just 30 hours, and that won't give me health insurance, doesn't give me no vacation, sick, or anything like that.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's. So you're gonna be a law enforcement guy again?
It's great here.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm guilty of not knowing your history. I knew you worked as the chaplain, but I didn't know that was a paid position. I thought that was just something you did. Huh, okay. But I didn't answer her question because I still don't know. I don't know how this stuff works. I assume you figured it all out.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm working through all that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so then I guess we're still, did you, you're still resigning? Did you do
Yes.
that official?
I've done that official.
So the governor's seen it,
Well, I don't know if she's seen it, I sent.
but if you send
I
it,
sent you a certified letter,
okay.
so